and Shaw. Hobbs Shaw is a recent spin-off in the Fast and Furious franchise, directed by David Leitch, starring Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Vanessa Kirby, and Idris Elba. The plot follows Luke Hobbs, played by Dwayne Johnson, and Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham, and they have to work together to stop an evil, genetically enhanced supervillain, played by Idris Elba, from getting a deadly virus. Ever since Fast 5, which is my favorite in the franchise, I started to enjoy these movies. Not the greatest in terms of acting or story, but I find them just entertaining popcorn movies. These movies are over the top, but they know it. They know what they're trying to be. Just over the top, fun, cheesy action movies, and I enjoy them for that. I'm mixed on this franchise continuing. I felt like Furious 7's ending, where Paul Walker's character retired at the end, I felt like that was a good ending for the franchise. However, they continued after Furious 7 with Fate of Furious and Hobbs & Shaw. I'm just like, not sure about this continuing. However, since I find these movies entertaining, I don't mind that I keep watching them. And one of my favorite parts, if not my favorite part of the Fate of Furious, was the banter between Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, which I thought was just so hilarious. And when I heard a spin-off movie was happening with those two characters, I was interested. I was just like, this could be a fun idea for a spin-off. I missed this movie when it came out in theaters. I almost had my chance to see this movie in theaters, but life events kept getting in the way, and I sadly missed it, and I finally watched this movie recently, and just like the others, this movie is ridiculous. It is over the top and just so cheesy. But did I enjoy watching this film? Oh yeah. I wouldn't say this is one of my favorite films in the Fast and Furious franchise, but that honestly didn't stop me from enjoying this film. I just had a blast watching this movie and just had a smile on my face for the majority of this movie. First on my positives about the chemistry between Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham. All I have to say is, can these two just star in like 5 to 10 movies together? It doesn't have to be Fast and Furious, just please put these two in more movies. I just find their banter just so entertaining, the way they just trade insults at each other, just how much they relentlessly riff on each other. And both of these two continue to be great in the action scenes and be charismatic. I love these two as a duo and I just find them so entertaining. However, that wasn't my favorite part of this movie. Surprisingly, what was my favorite part about this movie was Vanessa Kirby, who plays Shaw's sister in this movie. I really liked her in this. I thought she was awesome. I liked how she wasn't a damsel in distress. And last year she was in Mission Impossible Fallout and she had her moments to shine here and there, but after watching this movie, I want to see her in more action movies. I hope she gets a big role in maybe the MCU or the DCEU. I want to see her in more action movies. I definitely think she has a bright future in that. And Idris Elba as the genetically enhanced supervillain was a lot of fun. I can definitely tell he was having a blast in this role. And Idris Elba does a good job playing villains. I really liked him as Shere Khan in The Jungle Book, and now this. And this film is directed by David Leitch, and he was a co-director on John Wick, and he also directed Atomic Blonde and Deadpool 2, and I think he's a talented action director. I think he did a good job directing the action scenes. He doesn't try to make them too hard to follow. You can at least see what's going on, which I liked, and I like how he adds energy into the action, which I thought he did a good job with. And speaking of the action, it's as entertaining as you expect. My favorite action scene in this movie would be a car chase that takes place in London, which I thought was awesome, and the climax that takes place at Samoa, and especially with a scene involving a helicopter and these cars connecting each other, which I really enjoyed that. Sadly, I do have some flaws with this movie. I will get to those right now. First, the story is pretty basic, pretty much a story we've seen before. Heroes teaming up to stop a villain, and there's a MacGuffin involved. We've seen this story before. And also, this movie does have weak pacing at times. There were some moments where I felt like a few scenes could have been trimmed or cut to tighten the pacing. While the third act at Samoa was entertaining, I felt like the stuff at Samoa couldn't quite maintain the same entertainment value as the first two acts. And finally, the editing at times can be a bit too quick. But overall, Hobbs & Shaw is pretty much what I expected from a Fast and Furious movie. Cheesy, goofy, fun. It has an enjoyable cast, David Leitch does a solid job directing, and the action is entertaining. This movie comes out on Blu-ray and DVD today. If you haven't seen this film, and if you're interested in buying this film, do check out Hobbs & Shaw. I give it a solid recommendation. And overall, I am going to give Hobbs & Shaw 3.5 stars out of 5. I would definitely recommend this movie to you if you're a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Jason Statham. Or if you're just looking for a fun action movie, maybe make some popcorn and enjoy this movie. I would not recommend this movie, however, if you're not a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, or if you're not into cheesy, dumb, over-the-top action movies. I wouldn't recommend this movie to you. So what do you guys think about Hobbs and Shaw? Do you agree? Disagree with me? Let me know below. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. You're new here, it really means a lot. I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.